Hey yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Alvin MB10, aka AMR10, and what I got for you today is some more NBA 2K23 Next Gen. Now, more specifically, what I have for you today is a prime Dwyane Wade build, and let me just say this thing here is something special. Now, I did work as hard as I could on this because, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to D Wade, you gotta put a lot of respect to his game because he happens to be one of the... He's top 3 shooting guard of all time, and he's not 1 or 2, just saying, you know, I gotta be truthful. But yeah. Now, this is coming out the same day as the release of Season 2 of NBA 2K23 Next Gen, so I will just ask you, are you hyped for Season 2? You've probably been playing it for like a few hours now, so hopefully you are. But yeah, as I said, prime Dwyane Wade build. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let's get straight into the build. Most of you know we're going with Dwyane Wade, shooting guard, right-handed, and jersey number 3 because we are making prime Dwyane Wade, and prime Dwyane Wade was when he was with the Heat, especially in that 06 finals when he managed to average like 35 points. Height-wise, we decided to go with 6'4", as well as with a weight of 212 pounds and a wingspan of 6'11". These are the stats that I got from the NBA website from his draft combine measurements. He was 6'3" and 3/4, I believe. So we just rounded up to 6'4", weight about 212 pounds and a wingspan of 6'11". And then body shape-wise, I decided to go defined because, yeah, you know, he wasn't the most muscular person, but he was still kind of defined. Now, before we get into this build, I do got to say a big old shout out to all of you for all the support you have been showing to the channel. It is going highly appreciated. Thank you for checking out the jump shot build video. I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time I've ever done it, and it seems like it got a half decent response towards it, so hey, I'm happy to see that. So thank you for all the stuff you've been doing, watching the videos, liking the videos, dropping comments. It always helps with the YouTube algorithm. It helps in getting these videos out there and helps me with growing this channel. But I do gotta say, if you like today's video and you want to see more content like this, do me a favor, go and hit that like button. Don't forget to share the video because it does help with the algorithm. Also, drop a comment because that's one of the biggest things about YouTube. If you drop a comment, it really helps with the videos. And if you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as turning post notifications on. We are currently on the road to 1,500 subscribers. We are 20 away, and I'm hopefully going to be celebrating 1,500 before November begins. Now, getting straight into this build, first things first, when it came to speed and excel, I decided to go with an 86 on the speed, 86 on the excel, just because Dwyane Wade, the Flash, fast as hell. Strength-wise, decided to go with a 60 because it is a guard build, but so you don't really need to have uber strong ability, but you need to have a decent amount of strength, especially when you're the shooting guard. And then when it came to vertical, I decided to go with an 85 because we are aiming to get small contact dunks on this build. And obviously when it came to stamina, I went up with an 87. I would have gone into the 90s, but the truth of it is, as I said, I use like an 85, 87 stamina, and it works perfectly for me. And I'm the point guard, and I usually love to run the floor like a floor general. Now, getting straight into the very first most important part of Dwyane Wade's game. For those of you who've seen the replica build, that thing is a fraud. Because how does Dwyane Wade have like a 70 driving dunk on his replica build? That doesn't make sense to me. Especially when he posterized Anderson Varejao the way he did. So we decided to go with an 86 when it came to the driving dunk because, as I said, we are aiming to get at least small contact dunks as well as pro contact dunks on this build. So with an 86 driving dunk and an 85 vertical, we can secure that. When it came to the driving layup, decided to go with an 80 because I wanted to get Hall of Fame giant layup because when Dwyane Wade wasn't dunking it through the hoop, some of his layups are hella acrobatic, so you gotta put some respect on those. And then when it came to the close shot, decided to go all the way up to about a 76, with the key thinking being I wanted to push as many bash points as I could, as well as I wanted silver fast twitch. Now, post control is a part of his game that I feel like a lot of people who watch Dwyane Wade understand the fact that this man used to play out of the post quite a bit, especially in the later years, because it really did help him in getting a few buckets here and there, because obviously when you start to lose speed, you got to get it a little bit more technical, so most 2 guards tend to rely on the post because they know it's one of those places that if you're if you have great technique in the post, you don't need to be fast as hell because you can abuse the crap out of it. Now, as you can see, this does allow us to finish with a grand total of 19 total finishing badge points. Key ones being Gold Aerial Wizard, Hall of Fame Giant Slayer, Hall of Fame Pro Touch, Gold Limitless Takeoff, Silver Posterizer, and obviously all the other things you can necessarily play with. Now, shooting-wise, I decided to do it as legitimately as I could. So first things first, 86 when it came to the mid-range jump shot, and a 71 when it came to the 3-ball, as well as a 74 when it came to the free throw. My thinking here is I wanted the mid-range to be high enough that you can get Hall of Fame, guard up, midi magician, and comeback kid, just because as well as space creator, just because if you've watched Dwyane Wade play, his mid-range game is elite. Like, it's just unstoppable. He's one of those dudes who somehow can really score from any position inside the arc, but once you take him outside the arc, it starts to get a bit techie, which is why we decided to go with a 71 when it came to the 3-ball, because it does allow us to get bronze dead eye, but it also allows us the capability of, you know, Silver Claymore, Silver Corner Specialist, and Bronze Catch and Shoot, as well as Bronze Agent 3. Whoa, I would low-key put that up way too high. I was trying to move over here to say we also get Bronze Agent 3, which is kind of nice on the build. And then obviously a 74 free throw, because we do want you to be able to take this build into the rec and do what you can. As you can see, this does allow us to finish with a grand total of 19 shooting bash points to pair up with the 19 finishing. Now, playmaking wise, I decided to, you know what I'm saying, first things first, gotta go with an 86 when it comes to the ball handle, because we want to get that silver mismatch expert. Go with an 80 when it comes to the speed of the ball, just because it does matter, but with the fact that you can get gold quick first step off of just having a high ball handle, it really doesn't matter enough to push it all the way up. And then pass accuracy wise, I decided to go with a 74 because I was trying to get at least 21 total playmaking badge points on this build, as well as silver needle threader, because even though Dwyane Wade wasn't the greatest floor general in the world, I believe his averages did include about 5 assists, so you got to put a little bit of respect on his name in that aspect. Now, 21 total playmaking badge points, quite elite in my personal opinion, and you can really mess with that. Now, defensively, this man was a two-way player in all its honor, so we decided to go with an 86 when it came to the perimeter defense, because it does allow you to get gold challenger as well as silver clamps. When it came to the steal, decided to put it up to a 79. Originally, I would have left it at a 78 just because that's the bare minimum you need for a silver interceptor. But as you can see, with a 79, we do get that +1 on badge points, giving us a grand total of 16. Block-wise, I did the maximum I possibly could get to get a decent amount of, or at least to get the highest ranking of chase down artists I could, which is a 59 block to get silver chase down. My key thinking is Dwyane Wade has to have a block rating, because for those of you who don't know, this man is the all-time leader in blocks at the shooting guard position. Let that just settle in. And he's not even one of the tallest, because remember, MJ and Kobe are both 6'6", and Dwyane Wade's about 6'4". Like, that says a lot about his game, which is why I say one of the best two-way players at his position. And then obviously on the offensive rebound, decided to go with a 60, as well as pushing the defensive rebound as high as I could to a 67, allowing us to finish with a grand total of 20 total defensive badge points. Now, I did not put too much on the rebounding just because, again, you are a 6'4" guard, so you won't necessarily be crashing the glass like that. However, I did put enough on it so that you can compete a little bit, but the key thinking here was you want to be able to lock up at the perimeter, as well as have the ability to really just contest shots and play passing lanes. Now, we finished with a grand total of 79 total badge points on this here Dwyane Wade build, and if you've managed to play a little bit of my career, that gives you a +4 to an 83. If it was me personally, I'd spread it across a little bit on finishing, a little bit on shooting, and then maybe the latter on defense, or maybe just push it all into defense, because the way this build is set up, you can get some really elite defensive play styles, which makes this build somewhat of a lockdown build. Now, takeover wise, the very first one you gotta go with, hey man, you gotta go with finishing moves, because Dwyane Wade, boy, I'm saying it this way, if you've never seen the posters Dwyane Wade used to deliver, the likes of Anderson Varejao, the Kendrick Perkins one was special, especially off the spin. Yeah, that's something special. So you gotta go with finishing moves for the very first take, and then for the second one, I'd probably go with negative impact, or actually, I'm gonna go with negative impact. The key thing I ever think of whenever I think of Dwyane Wade and negative impact, I think of his pump fake on Paul George or his pump fake on KG, where he just nailed it from barely inside the three-point line, but just a hard jump shot and pushed it. And yeah, that's one thing about his game. When it's clutch time, Dwyane Wade will take a shot over anybody. Now, what 2K says we have happened to build here, or at least the players' shades of that we get, are Sidney Moncrief, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, DeJounte Murray, and of course, we're an inside the arc scorer. Now, do I agree with the last two? Because I never watched Sidney Moncrief play. I ain't old enough for that one. But I do agree with the last two in the fact that both of those players right there are technically two-way players. Are they as great two-way players as Dwyane Wade was? No. There's a reason he's a top 3 shooting guard. But I can see them in the shades of, so it does make a whole lot of sense. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, which if you did, don't forget to do me a favor, go and hit that like button. Don't forget to share the video because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. But if you really want to help, drop as many comments as you can, because that seems to be the biggest thing. And don't forget, if you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as turning post notifications on. Anyway, it's been your boy Alvin MB10, aka AMR10. We're gonna be uploading quite regularly, so I'll see you in a bit. Deuces.